Amanda Carter always knew that working at Blake Innovations was more than just a career. It was her second home. She came to the office earlier than everyone else, left later than everyone else, and put her heart and soul into projects. She went from intern to deputy CEO in just 5 years, a record for a San Francisco tech company. That morning, everything seemed normal. Coffee in her favorite mug with the words, "Make it happen," on it, a quick check of her email, a few calls with her partners. Amanda was planning a day full of meetings and strategy sessions. But an email from Mr. Blake's personal assistant threw her off track. "Mr. Blake would like to see you in his office in 10 minutes. Straightening her light blue jacket nervously, Amanda grabbed her clipboard and notes and headed for the office. She thought it would be another discussion of upcoming projects or preparations for a large investor meeting scheduled for tomorrow. When she opened the door, she was greeted by an unusual atmosphere. Mr. Robert Blake was sitting in his big chair, calm, almost relaxed. A smile tugged at his lips, but not the warm smile Amanda knew. This one was cold. There was a glass of whiskey on the table next to him, even though it was only 10 in the morning. "Amanda, come in," he said in a sweet voice that made her heart clench. She sat on the edge of her chair, waiting for an explanation. Blake flipped through some papers, then slowly looked up. "Your time at Blake Innovations is over." The silence in the room became deafening. Amanda blinked her eyes, not believing what she was hearing. 1,000 questions ran through her mind. Why? Why? What had she done wrong? She had given everything to the company, her nights without sleep, her personal life, even her weekends. But she tried to say something, but Blake raised his hand, stopping her. "Don't take it personally," he added in the same sweet tone. "Business is business. We're going in a different direction." His words hit harder than any shout. Amanda felt something inside her break. She didn't have the strength to argue. She did not understand what was happening, but she intuitively felt that it was unfair. Tears came to her eyes, but she didn't want to give Blake the satisfaction of seeing her weak. Gathering all her will into a fist, she stood up, nodded, and walked out of the office without a word. She ran down the corridor, unable to see the road in front of her. Employees parted ways, shocked by her appearance. Only in the parking lot did she realize that she had nothing in her hands, either her bag nor her phone. She left everything in Blake's office. But Amanda couldn't go back. Her pride wouldn't let her. She got into her old Honda Civic and sat there for a few minutes, breathing heavily. Her life was falling apart right before her eyes. She had no plan, no idea what to do next. Only a feeling of betrayal was squeezing her heart. That day, Amanda realized one thing: trust is the most precious currency in this world. Sometimes those to whom you give everything are the first to stab you in the back. But little did she know that fate had an unexpected twist in store for her. Her forgotten phone and an accidentally recorded video were about to change the course of events, not only her life, but the fate of the entire company. The next morning, Amanda returned to the office with the sole purpose of collecting her belongings and never returning. She gathered up her favorite books, personal notebooks, and a few family photos that had adorned her desk for years. Every little thing reminded her of how much effort and heart she had put into her work. As she was carefully packing the box, Lisa, the assistant head of the PR department, approached her. "Amanda," she said quietly, looking around, "Mr. Blake has asked that you still attend the investor meeting today. A formality, so to speak. Procedure." Amanda blinked in confusion. "What formality? I was fired." "Yes, but your participation in the merger project was important. It's just a formality. You do an hour, and that's it." Amanda gritted her teeth. Everything inside her screamed for her to leave. But a part of her, the part that was used to seeing things through, made her agree. "If this is the last time, then so be it. One more thing," Lisa added, handing her a familiar object. "You left your phone in Mr. Blake's office yesterday." Amanda took the phone, barely thinking about it. She was too devastated to pay attention to such trifles. Half an hour later, they were sitting in a large conference room. An ebony table took up most of the room, and the company's main investors were gathered around it: the gray-haired Mr. Goodman of Valley Capital, the energetic Mrs. Lewis of Sunset Investments, and other key players. Mr. Blake sat at the head of the table, looking calm and confident. Next to him was Henry Norton, the head of another large tech company with which Blake Innovations was planning to merge. Amanda sat a little to the side. She was, as she was told, only the face of the project, to make everything look nice and smooth. She was no longer asked for advice. She was like a shadow in the room. The meeting began with a keynote speech by Mr. Blake. Dear investors, we are on the verge of a big change. Our merger with North Tech will open up new horizons, allow us to enter new markets, and double our capitalization over the next year. He spoke beautifully, convincingly. Investors listened, nodded, and asked questions. The atmosphere was optimistic. Amanda automatically pulled out her phone and started scrolling through her notifications. She wanted to get her mind off the hypocritical performance. But suddenly she came across an unusual video in the gallery. A video recorded yesterday. At first, only the ceiling of Blake's office was visible. Amanda was about to turn off the recording when she heard the voices. "The merger is just a cover," Blake said in the video. "After the merger, the company will go bankrupt. We'll pump the assets into our personal funds," Henry Norton added calmly. Amanda froze, her heart racing. She listened closely. The voices were clear, understandable. They were openly discussing a corruption scheme, a merger, a fraudulent bankruptcy, the theft of tens of millions of dollars. Amanda felt herself struggling to breathe. Was she being fired to get rid of an unnecessary witness? Was she a threat to them? Or were they just wiping their feet over her for their own profit? She looked up at Blake. He continued to smile and talk about new horizons. And it was at that moment that a plan was born in Amanda's mind. She had a choice: to leave in silence, leaving everything behind, or to speak up right then and there. She chose the latter. Amanda clutched the phone tightly in her hands. Her pulse pounded in her ears, each beat echoing in her head. What to do? What to say? All eyes were on Mr. Blake and his vivid presentation about the brilliant future of the combined company. She took a deep breath. If she didn't say anything now, she would be betraying herself and all the honest employees who had spent years building the company. She rose from her seat. "Excuse me." Her voice sounded sharp and unusually loud for this formal atmosphere. "Before we continue, there is something that everyone needs to see." There was a tense silence in the room. Blake turned sharply to her, his eyes filled with anger. "Amanda, not now," he said through gritted teeth. "Sit down." But she was already walking toward the big screen of the presentation. She inserted her phone into the connected USB cable. The screen flashed, and the first image appeared, a video from Blake's office, where he and Norton were discussing the corruption plan. The video started automatically. At first, only a slight noise was heard, then Blake's voice. "After the merger, we will deliberately collapse the balance sheets. The debt write-off will look official." And Norton's voice. "And then we will quietly withdraw assets through partner funds. No one will prove anything." The room fell silent. Most of the investors stretched forward, staring at the screen. Some began to whisper. Mrs. Lewis pulled out her phone and began typing rapidly. Blake rushed forward. "Turn it off. Turn it off now." But it was too late. The information had already spilled into the audience like a broken bottle of red wine on a snow-white tablecloth. Amanda stood firm, not looking away. Now she was the one in control. Investor Goodman got to his feet. "Robert, what the hell is going on?" Blake stammered. "It's a fake. It's a setup. She's lying." But the other investors were no longer listening. Someone called security. Some called their lawyers. A wave of chaos rose. Several guards burst into the room. Blake tried to escape through the side door, but was stopped. Amanda stood silently, feeling several emotions struggling inside her: relief, fear, triumph. She had saved not only her honor, but also the company that had once meant everything to her. The police arrived quickly. Blake and Norton were taken out of the conference room in handcuffs. Their faces were full of rage and helplessness. One of the main investors, Mrs. Lewis, came up to Amanda. "Thank you for speaking up," she said sincerely. "We owe you a debt of gratitude." Amanda just nodded. She felt drained, but at the same time stronger than ever. This day had changed everything.